Hey guys, Christy here and welcome back to my channel. So I have teamed up again with Angel Competition Bikinis. After my last video on my top 5 tips for surviving show day, I thought that I would make a video all about selecting your first competition suit. So even though there are already some videos out there about how to go about picking your first competition suit, I thought that I would make a kind of a more up-to-date video and also make something a little bit more concise. I highly suggest watching the whole thing through. I have some exciting giveaway information for you guys at the end of the video. So I felt like this video would be really helpful and really informative, especially because it's beginning of the competition season and girls are starting to look for their suits. And I was in this position about 2 years ago. I literally had no idea where to start. I didn't know where to go, who I should buy from, what exactly I should go into picking a color or anything like that. I had no idea. So I felt like I would share my thoughts and my experience and what I've come to learn through the years. So I had no idea where to start, and I literally reached out to probably every single person on the internet who made competition suits. I ended up going with Angel Competition Bikinis for my first ever suit. In my opinion, I made a great choice. Lauren and Kara were the most responsive out of all the companies that I emailed. I think by the time I heard back from a few companies, Lauren and Kara and I had already sent 30 emails back and forth to each other and pretty much like deciding on what suit I was gonna get. And I love the fact that you could email them and they would send you fabric swatches. So just to get an idea, so for their beachwear, they sent fabric swatches. So it's a really good idea if you are unsure about the color that you want and you want to see it against your skin tone. So you can go ahead and order swatches from them. I also felt like their website was really easy to follow and they answered a lot of my questions regarding sizing and how much weight I was gonna lose and what I should order. So I'll go through all of that with you guys too. I'll also link their website in the bottom in the little description box right down here. My first tip for choosing a competition suit is making sure you understand your budget. You really want to get a good idea of how much you're going to be able to spend on a suit because competition suits can be so expensive. Not only that, but competing is a very expensive sport, so you want to make sure that you have your budget in order and know if you can spend $250 on a suit or if you can spend $1,000 on a suit, because it's very easy to spend a lot of money on a suit. So once you have a pretty good idea of what your budget is, I would start reaching out to companies. You can email them, you can DM them on Instagram, but my best bet would be to email the company and explain what your budget is and what your vision for your suit is, and they should give you a good idea of whether or not that's something that they will be able to do or if that's a little bit out of your budget and they can maybe compromise and do something similar to what you wanted but more on your budget. So if you are trying to save some money and you don't have a lot of money to spend on a competition suit, there are some companies out there who do off-the-rack suits where you can go and buy something straight off the rack. You basically go and buy as is. Another thing that you can do is you can buy suits off Instagram or eBay, but I wouldn't recommend that unless you really don't have the money, only because it's not fit to your body and your measurements, and typically once you buy, that's it, and you can't return it. So another thing to consider before going and picking out your suit is to understand what rules and regulations are within your federation. So NPC tend to be a little bit more lenient, but I know some of the natural shows like OCB or NGA, they tend to be a little bit more conservative, so you might need to get a larger bottom. This is something that you should consider because out of all the shows that I've ever been to, they will make you wear your suit on check-ins. If you're not having to wear your whole suit, they'll make you wear your suit bottoms, and you literally have to like drop trout and show them your suit bottoms, and they want to make sure that you're not wearing something that's too revealing. So if you're concerned about that, I would go more towards the moderate side. So for my first show, I went with a more moderate coverage. I went with the Brazilian cut. For my second season, I went with the pro cut. So I'll see if I can line them up and show you the difference. So as you can see, there's a pretty big difference between the moderate and pro cut, and I was concerned about the coverage. However, the pro cut really emphasized and I felt like really brought up my glutes as compared to my first show. So I would highly recommend going with the pro cut if you feel comfortable in it. You've gotten feedback from the judges. So I feel like one of the biggest concerns that girls have is deciding on what color suit you're gonna get, especially because you don't know what it's gonna look like on stage with your tan. As a rule of thumb, I would say that neon and light colors look great, and they look great with your tan, but once you get under the lights, the suit and your tan and your hair all look completely different. My first show, I went with a red color, which was a color that was strongly suggested by my coach, and even though I wasn't super crazy about the color, I went with it anyway, and it was a beautiful suit. However, some of the feedback I got from judges was that the suit, my hair, and my tan all washed out under the stage lights, and they recommended me going with a different suit color. So even though you may think that neons and light colors look great, and they do, but they look a little bit different under the lights. I've also been to a lot of posing seminars, and the judges say that they really prefer those dark colors that contrast really well with your tan and your hair color. So when I help girls out with their suits, my biggest tip that I tell them is if you were going to a wedding or a formal event or a hot date, you had an unlimited budget or whatever, and you walked into a store and you were going to pick out a dress, what color dress would you lean towards? Kind of like what you would consider your power color, something that you feel you're most confident in. So for me, when I think about that, I gravitate a lot towards teal. Those are some of my favorite colors to wear, and my teal suit has been my most favorite suit I've ever worn. I feel so beautiful and confident in it. Part of that reason is because I really gravitate towards those colors. Or maybe it's a color that you have a lot of in your wardrobe. You open up your closet and you see that you really gravitate towards one color. That can be super helpful as well. Another thing that I would recommend is go onto Instagram and look at girls who have a similar body structure. Someone that you feel like looks like you, has the same hair color and maybe kind of the same skin tone, and see what suits they've worn and have worked really well for them in the past. For me, I went on Instagram and looked for competitors who are blonde and looked to see what colors that they were wearing, and they wear a lot of blues and they wear a lot of greens, and they don't wear a lot of red, orange, or yellow, but those look phenomenal on brunettes. So then you want to start looking towards the pattern or the crystal design that you're going to have on your suit. So this might go back towards budget like we talked about in the beginning. If you don't have a very high budget, it's not likely that you're going to be able to have a super blinged out suit, which is okay. You can still find a lot of different alternatives, like having like a sequined fabric instead of a flat fabric, or a fabric that has a lot of reflection in it. So a fabric like this that's a little more shiny. So fabric that's a little more reflective, which will give kind of the illusion of crystal, even though it's not there. So basically picking a fabric that gives the illusion of crystal. Another thing that you have to consider is the type of connectors that you're gonna go with. There are a lot of different connector styles that you can go with. For me, I like to keep mine just very simple. I went with just a very simple connector style. So these were my bottoms, and I did the same thing for the top. Specifically talking about Angel Competition Bikinis, for their middle connector on the top, they have two different options. So they have a shorter option and a longer option. I went with a shorter connector. So I went with this shorter connector to kind of emphasize my natural cleavage, since I don't have implants and I don't have very large boobs. Another thing that I do for cleavage is I stuff my suits. So you see right here, you can actually see the pillow stuffing coming out of my top. So I don't have a lot to work with, so I make up for that with pillow stuffing. There are a lot of great videos online about how to stuff your top if you need help in that department. I've also heard that some connectors can be distracting for the judges. So for example, sometimes you have those long 3 dangly pieces. I've heard judges say that it takes away from the shape and from the muscle, but it also does work well for people who are trying to create that illusion of having more curve. When you are asking for feedback after your first show, I would specifically ask about your suit and see if they liked it, see if they liked your connectors, or if there's anything that you need to change. Another thing that judges have told me before is if you find a suit that works for you, you can stick with that suit. You don't have to change every season or even every show. If you find something that works for you, then wear it. You don't have to keep changing all the time. When you're trying to pick a connector, you want to think about what connector is really going to flatter your shape rather than the connector that looks the prettiest. They also sometimes have the option of having back connectors, but I would recommend that if you're doing a larger show or if you're trying to just add some more style or personality to your bikini, but if it's not in your budget, then I wouldn't recommend it. I've had the ties in the back and it worked perfectly with me. I've never had any negative feedback from any judges. So this was my first suit. I had the Crystal Explosion, and this was the back. And I'm pretty sure I cried the first time I got my bikini and got to see it in person. It was so exciting. This was my first suit, and even though I really do like the red, and I like the red with my hair, when I'm tan and on stage, it just really washes me out. So I ended up going with a different color for my next show. I went with the hologram emerald, and I got it super blinged out on the front, and I kept it just a little more basic in the back. I wanted you to be able to see the green. And this is the top. So again, you can see how much pillow stuffing is in there, and these are the backs. So I really love this color. I think it goes really well with my hair and the tan when I'm on stage. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I chose Angel Competition bikinis mostly because they were affordable, they were responsive, and their website was super informative and helpful in regards to what size I needed to get and what time I should order my suit and everything like that. So they have a first time suit buyer guide on their website, and they will also send you a PDF if you need to look over things in more detail. So it talks about back coverage, talks about connectors and things like that. So I'll put up some more information right up here for you guys so you can see everything. So they talk about everything you need to do to measure for your suit, so right around the bust, your waist, your hips, and things like that. So another thing that I was worried about when choosing my first suit was I didn't really know what size I should order or if I should send in different measurements, because I didn't really know what size I was going to be when I got down towards the end of my prep, down towards show day. What's really helpful for you is you send them your current measurements and then your expected weight for show day. If you don't know your expected weight, I would go off what you were at your last show. If this is your first show and you have a coach, I would talk to your coach and see if he or she has an idea of what weight you should be around when you hit the stage. So that will give Lauren and Kara a good idea of what size suit that they need to make for you. But if you're still worried, don't, because what they do is they provide extra fabric in all of your suits. So if you see right here on my bottoms, what they've done is they create extra fabric right around the connector. So if you feel like your suit is too tight or too loose, you can go to your local seamstress or tailor and they can have the extra fabric taken out for you. So it's just stitched right in there so they can take that stitching out. And obviously the top is adjustable. They have the ties in the back and then the ties up at the top. Another thing that's really helpful is they have padding that they put into their bikini. So you'll see this is the padding that they have in your top. I recommend also getting a little gel insert that you can put in there too, along with the pillow stuffing. So basically at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you find a suit that really makes you feel beautiful and confident. Because if your coach tells you to get a suit color or a specific suit that you don't really like or feel comfortable in, then the judges can really see that on stage. So I suggest finding a suit that you love, that you get really excited about, and you put it on and you feel beautiful, because that is going to carry over onto this stage. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, that I had some really exciting news about a giveaway for you guys. So I've teamed up with Angel Competition Bikinis, and what we are going to do is we want to interact and we want to hear from you guys. So we're going to have 3 winners, and what we're going to do is we're going to pick someone that's commented on the video. So you can leave a comment, maybe what your favorite tip was from the video, or maybe if you have a tip that you think would be helpful for other people, or maybe something that you enjoyed about the video. We're gonna select 3 winners, so 3 different winners. The first winner is going to get a logo tank, so one of their logo tanks, and a makeup bag. The second winner is going to get a robe for show day. So you know from my show day video that I highly suggest getting a robe or something black for show day for backstage. So you get this beautiful robe. So it's black satin and it has a little sash, so you can make sure that you're not getting tan on any of your nice clothes, and you have something that's really easy to slip on and off for show day. Last but not least, for first place winner, whoever has the best tip or is the most positive or uplifting is going to get a gift card to Angel Competition Bikinis. So if you are looking to order a suit, you can get a gift card. You can get a gift card for $25 off. So the rules for the giveaway are: you must be following me and Angel Competition Bikinis on Instagram, you must be subscribed to my YouTube, and third, you must comment on the video, give it a thumbs up. So a week after this video airs, we're going to select 3 different winners, and I will let you know who they are on my Instagram account. And as always, if you do end up ordering your suit from Angel Competition Bikinis, you can use my code ANGELCHRISTY. I don't make any commission off of this code. This is just a way for you to get a free jewelry set with your order, so you can get free show day earrings, a bracelet, and a ring. So just a little something extra that I can give to you guys. And then if you have any questions about anything for your suit, if you don't know what size you should get, if you're having trouble doing your measurements, or if you just want to bounce some ideas back with someone, go ahead and email me or contact me on Instagram, and I would love to help you select your first suit or just answer any questions in general you have. So as always, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If you want to enter the giveaway, give it a thumbs up and comment below so you can get entered into this giveaway. So again, thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye.